One thing I get asked whenever I solo travel and share content is to share tips on how to solo travel and also how to plan activities and enjoy yourself. So, if you want to know more, keep watching this video. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Buki. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Please make sure you subscribe and also give this video a thumbs up. And if you're an old subscriber, good to have you back. Today we'll be discussing travel. You all know this channel, we talk about beauty, we talk about fashion, we talk about lifestyle and travel content as well. And I've shared a couple travel content. So for the most part, like when I travel solo. And let me just give you guys a backstory. So I think the very first time I traveled solo on my own was when I was going to Ukraine for my undergrad, and I went there. I met a couple of people at the airport, so it was just me going there without my family, long story short. And of course I was there for 6 years, and I've gone to London a whole lot of times, myself. But when I got to the US, I've traveled to the US solo as well, but I still had to stay with family members, right? Or people that I kind of like knew. But for the purpose of this video, is me sharing, how to like tips to travel solo to places you have nobody. Like it's just you going to be a tourist and you trying to figure things out. So of course, the very first thing is for you to research on the location you are going to. Oh, this is where I want to go to. You have countries, places on your bucket list, and maybe so many things have attracted you to these places. So the very first thing you want to do your research. What are the people like? What are you expected to do? Do you need to get a visa? Things like that. Like just to have what is the weather like to enable you properly plan for where you're going to. So I think that research is the very first thing you want to do. After research, you want to sort out accommodation. Do you want to stay where? Hostels, hotel, Airbnbs. I personally prefer hotel because I just feel like as a solo traveler, you want to be you want to be really safe. Not like hotels are like the best, right? But it's for me, I just feel much more safe, or would I say secure, being at hotels. And I know it's not just me there. Hotels and Airbnbs are options you can stay, right? And for me, when I decide how do I choose my hotels as a solo traveler? Check reviews. Check reviews. I go on their Instagram page. I am searching. I'm seeing what people have posted, and also depends on my mood as well. It depends on where I'm going to, right? So some hotels you want them for the benefits. Some hotels you want them for their locations. Some hotels you want them for things they can give you. Some hotels you want them for the name, right? Some hotels you want them for like other services they provide, because maybe you just want to be at the hotel during your stay. So you have to choose location or accommodation that best suits what you're actually traveling to that location or country for. Once your visa, your hotel, have been sorted out, location have been sorted out, then you will now get into planning. I know some people plan their outfits, their looks. And also another thing I wanted to add about location is sometimes for us as creators, you want somewhere that is aesthetically pleasing. You want to create the content. You don't want to travel and you're hiding. You don't want to travel and you're not comfortable. For me, even though I want to explore the city or I want to explore the location or the country, right? I also want to be very comfortable in whatever accommodation, like the hotel I'm going to be. I want like a nice room. So for this, I choose not to go out to explore. I am happy, with my choice of hotel or my room. When I got to America, my very first solo travel to a country I had never been before was to the Dominican Republic. Like no family members, nothing. I just did my research and I just felt I wanted somewhere warm, and I also wanted somewhere nice as well, and somewhere also, solo travel friendly, especially being a Black woman, because that is also something you want to factor into your decision process. There are some destinations that are not travel friendly for women. I don't want to start mentioning names, but just do your research. Google could help with that, like what destinations are travel friendly for women. I'm just going to give an example of, I think it's Morocco. I've heard of people talking about like what it feels like being a Black woman walking on the streets in Morocco, so I know that if I want to go to Morocco, and I know people have different experiences, right? But for the most part, like 80% of the gist I have heard about Morocco is not somewhere I want to solo travel to. So you also want to ensure you're going to, especially for your first solo travel trip, you want to go to a country that is friendly for you as a woman, as a Black woman. When I decided I wanted to go to Dominican Republic based on the location, I did not need a visa because I had a US visa. How friendly they are, and the weather condition, and somewhere not too far as well. When I made up my mind, the next one was for me to start planning. And at this time, story time, I had not told my mom. I had not told In fact, the only people that knew was my sister and I think my best friend. Because I also made up my mind. You know how I'm African, I'm Nigerian. I love my mom. Sorry if you're watching this, but sometimes parents just think that, nowhere is safe. But even my country back home is not safe. So I just didn't want anyone to get into my head. And one thing I like about myself, when I've decided to do something, I have thought about the pros, I have thought about the cons, I make up my mind and I do what I want to do. Because if that is the case, you will not travel, you will not explore, you will not do things you want to do because you are waiting for your parents. So I just decided that booked my flights, did everything, planned my outfits, planned everything, booked everything I wanted to do, and off to Dominican Republic. While prepping to travel, I got myself a door lock. I had a pepper spray gifted to me by my friend. I know God is the one that protects, but just other safety measures. And I also just had the mindset that nothing was going to happen to me. God was going with me. And if God didn't want it to happen, I probably wouldn't have had the resources and something would have just hindered me from not going right. So the fact that everything was on track, everything was on course, I just knew like God was going with me. So I had that mindset that, booking, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to go wrong. I want to have the mindset because if you're too, how would I say, conscious and you're so scared, it will restrict you from, having so much fun or actually enjoying that trip because you would always be on guard. I mean, it is very important that you're sensitive to your environment, right? But you also want to just keep an open mind. That is very, very important. Another tip is to always share location with loved ones. So for my siblings and I we usually share location of wherever we are, whether you're home, you're going somewhere, so my sister and I think my best friend as well, they had my location, like the address. So whenever like I wanted to go for excursions or do something different, I always notified my sister like, okay, I'm going to this place, this is what I'm doing, this is my plan for the day, all of that stuff. Also, I ensured that because it was my very first solo travel, right? I wanted to be at a resort. I wanted a location or accommodation that had so many things. If I wanted to go to the spa, it was within the resort. If I wanted to do certain activity, I wanted to go to the beach. Like beach was also very important to me at that point in time. So it was so perfect that I found a particular resort that had all of those things. So I think that is very important. Like I said, depending on what you want, what your vision is for this trip, right? And also like reading reviews from other people. Another tip for solo travel is that you never share your location in real time. Like, for example, if you're posting content on social media, you're talking to people, you don't post when you're at the restaurant. You don't post in real time when you have gone for the activities. But as a woman, as a babe, you have to be very, very, very careful. The world is not so friendly or so kind to women, so you have to take extra measures. So you have to ensure that you're not sharing your location in real time. Which takes me to the next one. You are never alone. You have friends and family on that trip with you. I never go on vacation, like on any solo trip, and I'm like, oh, I'm here by myself. Because you meet people, right? You're going to meet people that are also like-minded, like you. You're going to meet people that also want to probably explore or exploring the world for the very first time. People might be friendly, right? But you also want to be don't let your guard down. You want to be extra, extra careful. So for example, now when I went to Miami, I was just walking around. I wanted to like have something to eat. And then I met, two guys. They were also on vacation from, Atlanta and all of that. And oh, are you here all by yourself? No, I'm not. My friends are out having fun, and I just decided to stop by a Mexican restaurant to have something to eat. So I'm going to link up with them later. Not like they were going to do anything to me, but for my own personal reasons and for security, for safety as well, you are never alone on a solo travel trip. Even when you get checked into your hotels, they probably ask, because obviously when you're making a reservation, you're putting, oh, maybe like two people. I never put for one person. I always put like for two people, right? Because I also want to be very careful. You can't trust anybody. Even though God protects, but you cannot trust anybody. You say, oh, are you expecting anyone to check? Yeah, my friend is going to check in later, period. Another tip is you have to be very alert. Like all your senses, your eyes, your ears, everything alert. And as a content creator, obviously, I want to get content. I want to get the beautiful shots. I want to do this. I want to do that. I have my camera. I have my tripod. I have my remote. I have whatever it is with me. I'm also being alert, like being sensitive to my environment. Like what is happening? You're not just enjoying and forgetting about yourself. You're not just taking pictures and forgetting about it. It's like you are having fun, but you're also still very much aware of your environment. When you're on solo trip, you should Google Map is your friend. Especially for me when I stayed at the resort, right? I didn't necessarily need Google Map because for the excursions I had, they came to pick us up at the resorts, they brought us back, and everything I needed to I could ask like the hotel staff. But for when I was in Miami, I was using my my what's it called, my Google Map to go to everywhere, to walk everywhere. So Google Map is your friend, and this is also like part of the research you want to do. You want to know what how things are wherever you're going to. So for because I'm in the US, right, Google Map is everywhere. And I think even outside of the US, Google Map works everywhere. But you also want to check if there's something that is very important for you to download before going to wherever you're traveling to, right? Because some people are really big on culture. Some places are like you might not even have access to internet when you're outside, right? So for me, I didn't really need internet when I was in Dominican Republic, because everything I was doing was at the resort. So for the times they took me out of the resort for activities, they brought me back. I was even happy I didn't even have internet, because it just made me immerse myself, really focus, just see the world from a different lens, create memories, and just be present. Another very important thing about solo traveling is that you need to have cash. Trust me. If I'm traveling within the US, I might not go everywhere with cash, right? Because obviously I know where I'm going to. Apple Pay, their ATMs around. But if you're traveling outside of the US, outside of, your location, to places you have never been before, right? Then you need to have cash in like dollars or euros, right? So that whenever you get to that location, you can always change into their currency. So cash is very important. One thing you don't want to do on solo travel is to be stranded. No, you want to have cash. One thing you also don't want to do on solo trips is to tell people where you're staying, no matter how friendly they are. I mean, some people might just be genuine, right? But you don't tell people where you're staying. Oh, this is my hotel. But not like anything is going to happen. But that's just what I do. I never tell people, oh, even if we're going to meet up so much, oh, I'm coming, just being extra careful. You can never be too careful. Also, you don't want to go to places alone at night like that. When I'm on solo travel, right? No matter how much fun I want to have, and I'm not even someone that likes to go out so much and at night, right? But obviously there are some countries or some locations whereby things happen at night. You just want to go and chill, like, just sitting at the restaurant or somewhere, just to have a different view, a different experience, like nightlife experience. Not necessarily like you're clubbing or doing, just sitting down and seeing what the location or your destination is like at night, right? But you have to be very careful. So, for example, there was a time I went to Mexico City, and I think I went on a one of these excursions, and I met this couple. They came from Colombia. Colombia is also somewhere I really want to visit. They came from Colombia, and from there, me, I just tagged along. I was there by myself, right? I just tagged along. We're just so friendly. So I was just really asking them questions about about them, about Colombia, and the reason why they just wanted to take a break, just come to Mexico City. And I really love Mexico City, by the way. Like, I really liked Mexico City. So they said, oh, they wanted to go somewhere like just I can't remember the place, but it was somewhere nightlife, so just see people perform, see how Mexicans perform, and just be there. I was like, oh, I was gonna come along with them. Long story short, I took an Uber to their hotel. They gave me the address of their hotel, and then we went together. First, we went to get drinks somewhere. We're just walking, and it was so nice to be out. And I really felt so, would I say, safe or secure with them, because like there's nothing they want to do to me. Not like I trusted them 100% or whatever, but it was also me keeping an open mind that nothing was gonna happen to me, right? And I think I shared my location with my location was still on, obviously. And I told my sister about it as well. And we sat down there, we had drinks, we did everything together. Then we went to this restaurant as well to have like authentic Mexican dishes. And we're just there, people were performing, it was nice, the lights were out, just in a different perspective of how our destination was at night. But it is not, if I had not met them, I wouldn't have gone myself, because as a woman, you have to be very careful. And you just being black again, you have to be extra, extra careful. So that's one thing. No matter how much you want to have fun, going to certain places at night by yourself is not very, very advisable. The very first thing again is to keep an open mind. Open mind. So for example, when I went to Dominican Republic, it was for my birthday, right? And my mom my mom eventually found that, because I said I was not, because I was hiding anything, but I just didn't want anything to be in my head like, oh, that place is not safe. Oh, don't do this. Oh, don't do that. Hey, don't this. I just didn't want all of that, right? So I did. So she called me, and it was on my birthday. I was at the resort, just chilling. I went out to have drinks. I had unlimited, like access to unlimited cocktails that day. So I just went to sit down at the lodge. But I was just somewhere. I sat down, and my mom's call came in. I didn't even know she already knew at this time. Like, oh, how are you? And she wasn't really smart. I'm good, happy birthday, I'm good. And she's like, Bukola, so you traveled to Dominican Republic, you didn't tell me? I was like, yeah, I mean, who did you go with? I said, I came by myself. I was just looking at me like, this girl, like, are you okay? I was like, yeah. She's like, do you know what they've said about the country? And I told her, I said, do you know what they have said about my country, Nigeria, as well? Nigeria is not safe for international travel. Like for people that are coming that are not Nigerians, Nigeria is not safe. No country is safe. Long story short. But are you going to say because they've said so many bad things about different countries, you will not travel, you will not go? No, you have to keep an open mind and trust that God will protect you. So that was the mindset I really had. And nobody was going to stop me, not even my mother. And then, and then she was like, I said, Mommy, I'm fine. I said, I'm at a resort. And it was fine. You must decide to have an open mind. And then the next thing, you want to ensure you interact with the locals. You don't want to travel and just be, oh, what you read on the internet. Oh, what you've done this. Oh, what you've done that. No, no, no. No. For example, when I went to Puerto Rico, right? I was in San Juan and I really wanted to explore. And Puerto Rico is also a very safe country. One of the best countries I've actually stayed. Like I literally even walked out at night. I was walking from my hotel to a restaurant at night, like not far, right? And it was just I felt so safe and secure in Puerto Rico, right? And they're also very friendly towards black people and women in general. So I'd already planned, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then when I got to the reception, I was just asking the receptionist, I was like, so what can I do? What can I do? And it was giving me ideas. Even there was a place I wanted to take Uber. So it was like, no, don't take an Uber. You can literally walk. So that will save me some money. So you have to interact with the locals to ask, I love Puerto Rico so much because I was able to ask, oh, I'm a tourist here. What can I do? And people were giving recommendations that I had not even seen online. Things I could do, places to go to. I could walk. Even when I was also walking somewhere, I didn't plan to go to where pina colada was first made in Puerto Rico. It was someone that said, oh, since you're a tourist, why don't you just walk down? You'll find, I think it would interest you where pina colada was first made. And I love pina colada. I was like, oh, interesting. So you have to interact with the locals. They could give you places where to get things, at a much more affordable price compared to things you had seen online or the popular places as well, and it could always direct you. And I think that is also very important. You're also being careful, right? But you're asking questions. Most times they're not people that are they're harmless basically. And you also need to pray for spirit of discernment to know who to ask questions as well, because you're traveling. There will be other people just like you, right? And that was how I talked about my trip to Mexico City, interacting, like meeting the couple from Colombia. You also want to interact with other travelers. It's not just only locals. There are also people that want to do things. You'll be surprised that at your hotel or your accommodation, there are also people that are looking to explore just like people travel a lot. When I was in the Dominican Republic, I went on this boat cruise just to see somewhere, like we're going all the way to somewhere called Sauna Island. Very beautiful. Like it was so nice. Goodness gracious. Like I highly recommend solo travel. And I saw these two little children from Germany. They were just there. And their mom was saying stuff like, this is how I take them to travel for me. And I'm like, this is something I would definitely do for my kids. And you could see that they were not new people to traveling. They were just looking, they were just having fun. And do you know what that would do to them mentally? Do you know what that would do to them? Like traveling is also a form of learning. So you have to also interact with other people. You guys take pictures of each other. If I on my trip to Dominican Republic, I met a friend from Brazil. So I'm like, I know if I want to go to Brazil, she's already said, if you want to come to Brazil, you're going to be at my place. Just meeting other people. Also being useful, taking pictures for people, just interacting. I'm not someone who is very friendly. Like I'll most likely be in my shell, not people. When I'm traveling, I'm like, no, you cannot just be in your shell. You have to come out of that shell. You have to interact with other people that are just like you, while also being careful, obviously, not telling them exactly where you stay. Say maybe you came with family and friends, but just interacting with other travelers just like you. Of course, when you travel to a new place, you have to try their local dishes. Trust me, coming from someone who is very selective with what she eats, like I'm always so scared, oh, my tummy, oh, this, oh, that, but whenever I travel, just keep an open mind. When I went to Mexico, I tried Mexican dishes. So it's like for me, trying other people's meals, like cuisine, everything, it's also all part of that experience. And I feel like once you have a very great mindset, once you have an open mind, it will be very easy. So there was time I went to, where did I go to? It was Puerto Rico as well. So when I was interacting with the locals, someone was like, oh, I think you should go and eat so and so. I was like, oh, is that a typical, Puerto Rican dish? She said yes. When I went to the restaurant, like I literally went to that particular restaurant because I wanted to eat proper, like Puerto Rican dish. And they had obviously a lot of options. And I was asking the waiter, I was like, what is your most popular dish? And like, oh, this, oh, that. And it was so nice. Like, I was so happy. That vlog has not gone up till now. I will share it someday. It was for my birthday. I think it was in, I can't remember, was it in 2023? Yeah, I think it was in 2023. And I was so happy I went on that trip. Like, it was amazing. I think one of my best trips ever, and I went solo. So you have to try out the local dishes. In fact, when I was in Puerto Rico, I saw their local ice cream, and I went to the woman. Oh, what is it? She's like, oh, this is our local ice cream. I was like, can I have some? I paid for it, and I tried. Like, all part of the experience. When people are talking, I was like, you've traveled to this place. Okay, what did you do? What was your experience like? What do you have to show? Not to show for people, but just for yourself that, oh, I tried this. If you go somewhere like, oh, this was particular to this country, this, oh, this. Like, so you have to be open minded to try out their local dishes as well. And when you're trying out their local dishes, even if it's not something you like, you're not going to be squeezing your face. No, because you also have to respect people and the location. You have to also respect their culture. What's a solo travel without creating memories? Like, you have to be intentional. I cannot, you see, even if you're not going to post it for people, right? But you want to look back. Like, for example, if I go to anywhere, somewhere new, I always buy something that reminds me of that place. So you have to create memories. You have to be intentional. And how do you create memories? When you're traveling, you don't even need to have a professional camera. You can use your phone, whether iPhone, whether Samsung. You can buy a mini tripod that comes with a remote. So when you're outside of places where you might not find, because I don't like to wait for people, because there is no guarantee that you find people that can take your content like you. So I always have a mini tripod with me, a remote, and my phone, so that I just put it in my bag, crossbody bag, depending on where I am, just to bring out, capture content, take pictures, get people to take pictures. If you just create all of these things, like, it's just all part of it. Even if you will not post, but for yourself, for the future, to, okay, you know what, I was here, this is what I did. And also to show your unborn kids, just to do so much. And looking back, I'm so thankful that I always create memories, and I've created memories in the past, because I'm just looking like, oh my goodness, at this point, this phase of my life, I did this, even when things are not going so, I'm like, at this, I did that. I'm looking more, or looking forward to things that I will do in the future. So you have to create memories. Another thing you want to do is to pay for activities, is to explore. Like, what is the purpose of traveling when you are not exploring? You just don't want to go there to sit down. But it also depends, right? For example, when I went to Miami, my trip to Miami wasn't a trip to really explore like crazy. For me, it was just to go and rest, to go and chill. From my hotel to the beach, go and eat, back. And if you know me, that is not my usual travel style. I want to explore. I want to do this. I want to do that. When I went to Dominican Republic, guys, I went ziplining. If you had ever told me, because I'm not the one who, I don't like the adrenaline rush, right? But I was like, no, you have to do something different. I was there by myself, even though I didn't get to capture, because I dropped my phone, my bag. I didn't want to lose anything. So I wasn't able to capture that. I didn't even go with my credit cards, nothing. So I wasn't able to get content, but at least the experience stayed with me, and I'm glad I did that, right? So you want to explore. So sometimes, like, for example, when I went to Dominican Republic, the resort had people that you could register activities with, right? And also when I went to Dominican Republic as well, my package, I think I flew with JetBlue, so they had this all inclusive package that you have someone, I think someone called an insider, that recommends activities, that even comes, shows you what to do, how, but you'd obviously pay for them, right? So I'm just saying that this was within the research. But when I went to Mexico City, like, the excursion I wanted to do, it wasn't anything connected to my hotel. I was the one that researched it myself, and I registered for it. And on the particular day, they came to pick me. When I went to Puerto Rico as well, I didn't necessarily, the guy at the reception said there's no need for you to pay for excursions, because you can actually go and do these things yourself. You can literally walk. If you want to take an Uber, you can. He said he was just going to guide me and direct me. And to be honest, I did all of these things myself. So you want to explore. And also, when you're traveling to a particular location, for example, when you go to Dubai, when you swimming with dolphins is so popular, with Dubai. When I went to Puerto Rico as well, snorkeling with turtles is also something popular. So I always ensure that I do activities that are popular with the search, with the destination I am headed. Does that make sense? So in Puerto Rico as well, ziplining is that much of a big deal. So I ensured that, I did. So that makes sense, right? So depending on your interest as well, and I always like to go for excursions that just shows me around, like, just to see what the country, or the particular location I'm gonna be in just looks like, right? So I think when I also went to Mexico City, I did like a tour that just took me around, went to learn more about the culture, their tradition, different things, went to museums, went to churches, just to see how things are, right? So in a day, you can actually go to 4, 5, 6 different places, and that's all part of the excursion. So I think that's something you also want to be open-minded to, just if you're on that trip for If you're on that trip to explore, then make it count. Explore as much as you can. I already talked about booking an accommodation based on your preference, whether hotel, whether Airbnb. For me, like I said, hotels are my go-to, right? I ensure that I'm booking all-inclusive hotels that come with certain things, maybe like breakfast, so that it saves me money as well. So I know I'm focusing more on lunch or maybe dinner. And Dominican Republic, I think I had the opportunities to go to the spa, like, so many things, just ensuring that you also in the process, if it's not your, if you don't want to save money, that's fine, right? But you also want to just ensure that whatever hotel you're in or whatever accommodation you're in provides you with certain things that would also make your trip really nice. Because for example, now I think when I went to Dominican Republic, I didn't want to wake up in the morning, I'm trying to figure out, oh, do I go to a restaurant? No. And that was one of the things that made me decide I was going to be at a resort that would give me access to everything. And in Dominican Republic, I ate and ate, like, nah, my resort. And I feel like if I go back to there, I would go back to that resort, but maybe like a much more, would I say higher, or, because the resort had other hotels. Would I say mini hotels at the resort? So for example, let's say you have Donald Grand, you might have Donald Grand Premier, stuff like that. So that means when I'm going next time, it's gonna be somewhere different from where I actually was, but that same resort. Also, when you have booked your accommodation, everything, you also want to enjoy your perks. For example, it was one of my friends that told me that whenever I'm going somewhere, like, oh, it's my birthday. No, genuinely speaking, for the time that I had traveled solo, right, it was my birthday period. Miami wasn't, but for other places I had gone to, it was my birthday period. I always said, oh, it was my birthday. So best believe most of these hotels, I don't know if Airbnbs they do that. Most of these hotels, on your birthday, they have some. In fact, I had like 2 dinners on the house. I had they brought a cake for me, like fruits, like they come and sing, whatever you wanted because it's your birthday. So people also lie when it's not their birthdays. They also lie that, it's their birthdays, right? And the hotels come. That's also another reason why I like hotels. The hotels come to just make that experience, really, really great for you, and you have the best time of your life. You can also capture as well. One last thing is to be open-minded. I know I've said it before, but I feel like that is literally the foundation. Once you're open-minded, then you would have a really amazing time, because once you're open-minded, it serves as the foundation for everything else. You're able to explore. When I go on vacation, especially if I'm going to have fun, and I don't sleep, I wake, and you have to be disciplined. Yes, let me add that. You have to be disciplined when on vacation, because you didn't leave your destination to go to another destination and you're just going there to sleep. And I feel like that's also, if I want to travel with someone, or if I want people that are also like me, that they're not just going to sleep, or they're not just going to come and be dulling, or we're saying we're going for activity, like, you go, or you are going, and like, can we not go back? No, no. And that's also one thing. And that's also one thing I like about social, because you are in charge. You're able to control, right? Do things, because I'm just here for the experience. I'm here to have a good time. I don't want to be at the hotel. I already sleep at home. I already do everything at home. I already do everything in Connecticut. So why am I coming somewhere else? And that is the same thing. Except maybe I'm going for a business trip. Or except I'm going, just like this vacation, it's just for me to chill, just walk, take small pictures, no activities or whatever it is. But I feel like if I'm going somewhere new, I want to explore. If I'm going somewhere new, I want to see what people in that place have to offer. I want to interact with people. I want to create memories for myself, But maybe if it's in Connecticut or in the US or whatever it is, I can just decide, okay, this vacation is just to change location and I'm just here at the hotel morning, night, but at least you walk around the hotel, you do different things. So that's just it, guys. Keeping an open mind, like I said, is the last thing. Keep an open mind. I think that is very important. And coming from me, that there's a certain way I like to do my things, but traveling has really helped me to see things from a much more different perspective. There are other countries. It's not only Nigeria. It's not only the US. Go, keep an open mind, explore, meet people, and just have fun. Traveling is something I really like. And I pray God gives me the resources. And I pray God also gives me a partner that is open to traveling. Even if the person doesn't like traveling, the fact that I love to travel, the person is open to the idea and we travel. Because Guys, there's so much of the world to see, and traveling is what really just puts you, that just makes you see the world from a much more different perspective. And one thing I would also like to say is, as a woman, if you cultivate the habit of solo traveling, it doesn't even necessarily have to be outside your country, even within your local, whatever it is that you're traveling, right? When you get to the phase where you're having kids, or you're married, you know that you have to have me time, you have to travel. So all of these things won't even hinder you from traveling, right? You take a pause, you take a break, like, you know what, babe, I need my solo travel time. You travel. Do you understand? But if it's something you've not been doing before, it will even be much more difficult to do when you're married, or when you've already got into the motherhood phase of your life. So I highly recommend solo traveling. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope these tips were helpful. So if you do have questions, additional questions about solo travel, or recommendations, or whatever it is, just let me know. Take care. Bye.